One of the common questions we often get from our brand and manufacturer partners is, how are my ads on one platform or one retail media network impacting shopper behavior, even if those shoppers are converting elsewhere? So what we built is multi-retailer attribution. We call it MRA for short. And what this allows us to do is really, tell a full story around, how our advertising is driving sales, beyond the four walls of any one retailer.
Yeah, exactly as you mentioned, Noah. A lot of times within the programmatic space and on DSPs, we generate a lot of awareness for our advertisers. And these multiple touch points, it's oftentimes lost when we look at downstream attribution. What touch points are happening at the conversion or consideration levels? And that's something that oftentimes in the programmatic realm we lose.
Yeah, and I love that you mentioned programmatic. I think increasingly as these retailers position themselves much more as national players, right? Think Amazon and Thursday Night Football, or their recent acquisition for a lot of the NBA rights, or even Walmart and Vizio. They're going after these national media dollars as well. And what that means is these shoppers are further from the point of purchase, right? I might sit down for a Thursday Night Football game. I'm not necessarily thinking about shopping at that moment. Now, a couple of quick examples of what this looks like in the wild. We ran an MRA analysis for a major manufacturer, and we looked at $18 million of their Amazon ad spend over the back half of 2023. And if we just look at that, ad spend within the four walls of that retailer, they're generating around $50 million in ad sales, just under a $3 ROAS. Evan, I know you spend a lot of time looking at performance metrics. What do you take away here?
Right at a $3 ROAS is certainly very strong performance on the DSP. What we see is our holistic impact across multiple retail media networks. It's actually far greater than what we're experiencing simply on Amazon.
Yeah, so here what we did is we ran that MRA analysis and we looked at, for all of those ad exposed shoppers who they saw an ad on Amazon. It could have been search or display, maybe STV, but they might have transacted elsewhere, right? And the next question was how often or how much volume is that really responsible for? $115 million in additional ad sales that wouldn't have been counted if we were just looking at our Amazon only performance.
And one of the major impacts that I love about MRA is it really gives a holistic view of what our total investment really looks like. Oftentimes as I mentioned, we lose that visibility in terms of when a shopper leaves a retail media network. Being able to gauge these various touch points across the web, it allows us to understand how we should invest our budget accordingly and apply those more manual optimizations.
And one of the cuts that I love of this is looking at where that transaction volume is occurring. Perhaps no surprises. Walmart picking up the lion's share of that off Amazon purchase volume. Target, Kroger showing up there as well. And I think this really paints a picture from a measurement perspective of just the complexity of the shopper journey and what it takes to really run a modern level of attribution on this customer journey.
I think the main focal point here is understanding incrementality of your advertising dollars and how best to leverage that.
And I think maybe one takeaway from my side is, as you're thinking about upper funnel budgets, where it might be a little bit harder to measure that, just within any single retailer, that's really where MRA can come in and help us know, what are we doing right or what might we need to optimize.